Welcome, my constant reader friends. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. All right, so, well, first off, you see I'm wearing my The Cure t-shirt. Yep, I did it. I got 2 tickets to go see The Cure. I talked about it before about how expensive Ticketmaster, all the fees and stuff they put on these tickets is ridiculous. Robert Smith of The Cure, I guess, went off on Ticketmaster and actually got them to lower the prices. And we're not even going to get into a huge conversation about that, but he pretty much got them to lower almost $100 a ticket. So I saved over $200 waiting and buying these tickets a little late, but I'm finally going to go see The Cure, one of my all-time favorite bands I've never seen before. So I'm happy about that. But anyways, let's get this out of the way real quick. This kind of goes with the theme of the show today. 4 past midnight. I'm not done with it yet, but I am on the last story. So the Sundog. It says, "This is in memory of John D. McDonald. I miss you, old friend, and you were right about the Tigers." So Sundog is the final story in 4 past midnight. I've got all the other ones done. We'll get this done this week. So next week's episode, we'll do my TBR for next month, and we'll talk about 4 past midnight. So let's get that out of the way. So since I really don't have a book review or anything to do with that, I'm going to talk about another subject that, I love, and that's records and my search to rebuild my record collection that I used to have that got damaged in a flood. But I got some other stuff too. So this week has been interesting at work, but now we're into a 3-day weekend finally. So that's awesome. I'm going to talk about some of the records that I picked up this weekend. Well, and then at the end, one other record that I just have to talk about. So first off, I picked this up. The Psychedelic Furs, Midnight to Midnight. This is now a remaster. This isn't the original, but this is one of the records that I had in my collection that I lost. It was really nice to see this out, brand new, remaster. Some of the things on this that you would know is, and then Heartbreak Beat is really good. Angels Don't Cry. Midnight to Midnight, the title song, of course, is on side 2. All of the Law I love. And then they end this record with the 1986 remixed version of Pretty in Pink. So that's pretty cool. Now, when it was originally released in America, in this album, when it was originally released, it didn't have that Pretty in Pink remix on it. It did in Europe, and this remaster does. So that's pretty cool. Psychedelic Furs, I like that cover. Here's the record is just on black vinyl. Midnight to Midnight label there. Pretty cool. I saw Psychedelic Furs, geez, it's got to be now over 20 years, 22, 23 years ago. I saw them in New York. I used to live in New York, of course, most of my life. And I saw them with Echo and the Bunnymen, another great band of that time, that era. So, got that one done. This was actually their 5th studio album, and one of the most well received on the charts anyways. It reached all the way up to number 12 on the UK charts, although the band doesn't consider it one of their best records. They think it's overproduced. But anyways, got that one. Then I saw this one. I had to get it because I've been searching for it, and you can buy it online, of course, for pretty good price. But I found Gorillaz Plastic Beach. Yeah, I saw this and I said, yep, that's mine. I'm buying it. Been looking for it. brand new. Wasn't too bad, too expensive. But I love the Gorillaz, and I want to get, I have this on CD. I just want to, you know, try to get everything that I can on vinyl. And I saw this and I grabbed it. Interesting story about this. So this was originally recorded or released in March of 2010, and it was their third studio album, and it's on Virgin Records. Kind of interesting. I'll show you. So the label here is pretty cool. On the back, it just says Gorillaz, but I don't know if you can see this. Here, get out of the way. It's got like an airplane on it. And then on the back, it just says Gorillaz, Plastic Beach. And it is a double album. So the other one has a really cool pirate ship on it, if you can see that. And then, of course, the Gorillaz Plastic Beach. Again, black vinyl. Really cool. You know, with the Gorillaz, they have guest stars appearing in a lot of their songs. Of course, it opens up, well, with an orchestral part, but then it goes right into a song with Snoop Dogg. Really cool. But I don't know if this is coincidence or serendipitous or whatever word you want to use, because I got that, and their song Some Kind of Nature features the guest Lou Reed. I mean, it was cool. I picked that up, and then I'm looking through records, and I find this Lou Reed live for $1. I mean, you can't beat that. $1? Lou Reed live? There's the back. And did a song with the Gorillaz on Plastic Beach. Crazy cool. Anyways, so this is Lou Reed live. This was released in 1975, and it was from a recording of course, a live show that he did on December 21st in 1973. It was a concert at Howard Stein's Academy of Music. It doesn't have the whole concert on it. It just has Walk on the Wild Side, I'm Waiting for the Man, Vicious, Satellite of Love, of course, Oh Jim, Sad Song. It doesn't have all the recordings that he played on that concert, but there is another live album that they released that has the other songs. So if you got both of them, I guess you could have the whole show if you wanted. But that was pretty cool. Lou Reed, I love Lou Reed, Velvet Underground. And this is on, you know, the old gold RCA Victor label. Black vinyl. It was dirty. I cleaned the hell out of it, and it plays beautifully. So you can't beat that. $1. All right, next, another dollar find. I've actually been looking for this one for quite a while. I've seen other people on vinyl community channels have had this record, and I have had to get it. Never, I mean, you could buy it, find it online, but I wanted to find it out in the wild, and I did in a dollar bin. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now, you're not all going to geek out on this like I am. This is Melanie, and this is 4 Sides of Melanie. This is a compilation record that was released in 1972. Look at this cover. I think it's beautiful. Kim, the Paper Traveler, I think you're going to like this. It's just crazy. And the way they released this was really kind of cool. It folds out in a goofy way. I don't even know. I'm not going to be able to get this all on screen, but so I hope you can kind of see it. All the artwork here. Really interesting how this unfolds. Let me see here. So it goes like this, and then on the inside, so there's 2 records in this set, and each side, she says the 4 sides of Melanie. So there's different stages in her recording career and different styles of music. Even she did some children's music that she actually became quite well known for. But this kind of, let me see if I can open this up for you. Opens up like this. You can see Melanie there. And you can see these, you've got these tabs that you can actually kind of fit them into each other to keep it together, I guess. But I'm not using the tabs. Then on this side, so here's the other 2. And then this folds down. And you've got your list of songs. There's a couple covers in here, a couple of her original stuff. Like I said, there's some children's songs in here. Really interesting. I don't know, I'm geeking out over it. I love it. So I finally found it, and I got it in a dollar bin. It was dirty. It was really dusty and dirty. Again, I just took some time. I cleaned it up, and plays beautifully. It's awesome. No scratches, no skips. You can see that this is on the Buddha Records label. Really cool kind of record label. So the interesting thing is, in 1971, so that's a year, of course, before this was released, Melanie got just fed up with Buddha Records. She was being controlled by them. They were telling her how often she had to do like a record a year, sometimes more. She did 2 records in 1 year with them. And it was just too much for her. She wanted a little bit more control over the songs that she wrote, the releasing of her songs. You know, if she wanted to do children's songs or whatever she wanted to do, spoken words even. She just wanted more control over it. So her and her husband started their own record label called Neighborhood Records. So they released a song, and this is probably the song. Oh, I almost didn't show you. So it's 2. There's 2. I'm sorry. They released a song called Brand New Key. Remember that song? I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. You've got a brand new key. I think that we should get together. And anyways, that song was on Boogie Nights. Really cool. Anyways, that was like it just exploded. That was huge in America. And to try to capitalize on her new success with her new record label, Buddha came out with this. And this actually was one of her highest ranking, it is her highest ranking compilation album. And it reached 100, this album reached 106 in the US and 26 in the UK on the Billboard charts. So they kind of were, riding her coattails again. They had authorization to these songs, so they put together this cool looking record, thankfully, because I love it. But anyways, so that's kind of weird how they did that. But at this time, so this is all in 1972, she had, Brand New Key, Ring the Living Bell, and the Nickel Song, which the Nickel Song was released by Buddha. She had those 3 songs on the Billboard Top 40 all at the same time. 1972 is the first time this had ever been done by a female vocalist. I think that's cool. I mean, nowadays, I think right now Taylor Swift might have all top 10 right now. But back in 1972, she broke a record. That was the first time any female artist had 3 songs in the top 40. That's how important Melanie was. A lot of people, I don't see a lot of people talking about Melanie on this vinyl community channels and other stuff I see. I think it's a shame. Cool voice. Definitely interesting person. Here's another little tidbit that I found out. So she was one of only 3 female performers in 1969 Woodstock. Of course, the other one, Joan Baez, and the incomparable, the amazing Janis Joplin. 3 women soloists, vocalists, performers in Woodstock. I thought that was cool. And last thing I'm going to throw in here, in 1989, she won an Emmy Award for her song lyrics for The First Time I Loved Forever. I'm like, what the hell? The First Time I Loved Forever? What the? I don't think I know that song. You know what it is? It was the theme song for the TV series Beauty and the Beast. Won an Emmy for it. Cool. I didn't even know that. So anyways, sorry about gushing over Melanie and taking up so much time, but I just think it's cool. I got it for $1. Can't beat that, right? All right, next. All right, we're almost done. We only have 2 left. These 2 records I just really wanted to talk about. I just got them recently. I didn't get them in the same haul that I got those prior records, but I really want to talk about these 2 real quick. They're important to me. This one, Queen, News of the World. Look at this. Look at this freaking cover. I fell in love with this cover when I saw it the first time. Look at the inside here. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, so this is a remastered. Of course, one of the records that I had in my record collection that I lost. So I finally replaced it. Garage, you're going to like this. I'm just going to tell a story. Garage, he says he likes my stories. Probably a lot of you get bored and tune off when I start telling my stories. But I got to talk about this one first. First off, this is the 6th studio album by Queen. And my first Queen album that I ever owned. It was released in October 1977. And it was released on Elektra Records in the U.S. So this release also reached number 3 in the U.S. Really good. You're all gonna know some of the songs on here. Excuse me. Of course, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, Sheer Heart Attack, All Dead, All Dead, Spread Your Wings, Fight from the Inside, Get Down, Make Love, Sleeping on the Sidewalk, Who Needs You, It's Late, My Melancholy Blues. Just amazing, awesome record. Let me show you the record real quick. It's just on, their regular Queen label. This is a remaster, of course, black vinyl. So here's my story. This record comes out in 77. I don't buy it until 78, 79. Yeah, okay, I was 14. So 77, I'm only 12 years old. 79, I buy the record. And really, for We Are the Champions and We Will Rock You, that's really why I got it. So what I did was, back in the day, we had those little tape recorders. They were rectangle shaped. They had a speaker, and then you put your cassette in it and play or record. And it had a little handle, you could carry it with you. So I played the record, nonstop, and finally decided I'm going to record We Are the Champions on here. We Will Rock You, and then We Are the Champions on this little cassette. And I did so, but when I was recording it, it got a skip in it. It skipped. And it's just weird, really weird. I think I've talked about this before, where now every time I hear this song, I expect to hear that skip. And it's not there because, I was playing it on a crappy little plastic record player when I was recording it. But here's the story. So I recorded this and some other songs on this cassette, and I'm carrying it around like a boombox. We're going to a party. I'm 14 years old. My parents don't know what I'm doing. They think I'm out with my friends. I'm going to a party. I go to a liquor store and I buy a bottle of Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill, and Mad Dog 2020, the grape, the grape flavor one. And I'm 14 years old. And I'm wearing those. Back in the day, it was just cool. You had to have these army surplus, camouflage pants with the big pockets on them. So I'm walking down the street at night with two buddies of mine, I'm not going to name them, and I'm carrying my little recorder that had those huge D batteries in it, and we're jamming to this, and I got a bottle of Boone's Farm and a bottle of Mad Dog 20. I'm 14 years old, and everybody's like, I go to the party, and everybody's like flipping out. They're so excited. I brought some booze, and they're like, how did you get it? How did you get it? Well, you got to remember, back in that time period, 18 was legal drinking age. So I'm 14, and I'm a kind of a big guy. And I remember I set the bottles on the counter, and the guy looks at me and goes, how old are you? And I pulled out a $20 bill, and I said, 20. And he said, okay. And he just took the 20, and I walked out with the 2 bottles of booze. I was 14. My parents have passed away, so at least they're probably turning over in their graves. They know I was out there drinking when I was 14. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying that you should go out and do it. We've all done our things, but and it's funny because I'm not even a big drinker, but yeah, I was drinking when I was 14 to Queen. I don't know. I just had to tell that story for Graz. All right, we're down to the last record. This is one that I really wanted to talk about. All right, if you're still with me, thank you very much. This is the last record I want to talk about, but this is the one I really wanted to talk about. And that is the new release by the Smashing Pumpkins, Autumn. Billy says Autumn. Autumn. So pronounce Autumn. Autumn. A-T-U-M. Anyways, Autumn is actually, well, you can do some research, but it's an ancient Egyptian god. And that does play parts into this. But what is this? So this is the 12th studio album by the Smashing Pumpkins. Now, it's 33-song rock opera. It says it right here, a rock opera in 3 acts. Yeah, let's take a look at it. Here's the front and the back. Interesting. Open it up. Oh yeah, cool picture of Billy Corgan right there. Jimmy Chamberlin over there. Of course, Billy plays bass, keyboards, guitars, sings, vocals, everything. Writes all the songs. Jimmy Chamberlin, drummer. And here you see a little schematic of the spaceship. Yeah, Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. Over here we've got Jeff Schroeder, guitarist, and of course James Iha, guitarist. This one that I got is an indie exclusive. I'm going to set it down. I didn't get the box set. The box set would have been great. It has 5 45s or 7 inches with 10 other songs. And you can get it autographed. It's $500 something. I couldn't afford that. But at least the indie exclusive is really cool. It comes with these screen prints that are pretty interesting. If I can show you. I don't know why my fingers aren't working properly. There we go. So there's the first one. Interesting. There's the second one. And actually these, they kind of go together. You can make a picture out of them. The second one, and then the third one looks like Shiny standing in front of the spaceship that he's going to be sentenced to. So it's a 3-act opera that is actually the third in a trilogy of rock operas. So it starts with Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. And the character's name in that record is Zero. Everyone knows Zero, Billy Corgan is Zero. But it starts with Zero, and I don't have that on vinyl. You can get it, but it's like $250. I don't have that to spend right now. Maybe. I'm hoping they reissue it soon. But anyways, you can kind of see, I guess, a little bit the cover artwork for the CD, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. One of my all-time favorite Pumpkins records. So that starts the trilogy of rock operas with Zero. Then Zero transitions into Glass. Glass is on the record Machina, The Machines of God. I don't know where my cover for my CD is. All I have is the CD. I'm sorry. I don't know where it is. Again, I don't have this on vinyl. I don't even know if you can get it on vinyl. I haven't even looked. So that was the second one. Now he's transitioned this character from Zero into now a new character called Glass. Same person. And then in Autumn, now we're on to Shiny. Now he's known as Shiny. And the thing is that Shiny is kind of a rebel. His music is deemed not good for society, things that he's talking about in his songs, and he gets exiled. He gets exiled from Earth by this organization. Now it's called the XNI, and they're kind of like automaton people. You know, they all look the same, they all talk the same, but who knows who the leaders of the XNI really are, but they're kind of running the Earth now. And they don't like what Shiny's talking about in his music, or I guess in any of his musical stances from Glass and Zero. And they exile him. So in this world, this futuristic world, you get exiled into a spaceship and you get sent up into space. And that's like your prison. You just stay there. You float in space in this prison, self-contained. Apparently you got enough food to eat, I guess. I mean, it just sustains you forever, or well, until you die. But you can, at any time, choose to push a button and your ship will go to the sun and burn up in the sun. And it's basically, a heroic way of killing yourself. Anyways, that's part of the story. So the story is basically, a futuristic society where you're told how to do everything, what to do. There's some people that are just very, very, very poor and get beaten and treated horribly. Then of course you have the elites that are the good people, and everybody's kind of an automaton, a kind of a robot, just doing what they're told to do. Shiny's music was incendiary, so there's another person who finds his music on the dark web and doesn't know who this person is, because when they exile you to space, they can wipe out your existence. They can go through any computer programs and things and just, you've never even existed. Well, somehow this girl is a very huge fan of Shiny. She's been exiled as well, and she sends a narrow beam stream down to Earth, trying to tell Earth about Shiny, trying to remind people about Shiny. This other girl hears it, finds it on the internet somehow, but whenever she does any research about this song or this person, Shiny, there's nothing there. So she goes to this old professor, talks to him. He says, yeah, I know who Shiny is. He's pretty incendiary. He's pretty important. And steers her to another place. It's a whole rock opera. It's a whole story. I don't want to tell it all. If you want to hear it, listen to 33 with William Patrick Corgan. It's a podcast. It's on all the podcast things, and it's really freaking amazing. He talks, they release each song one by one. So there's actually 34 issues of this podcast, but they go through each song. He talks about how he made the song. He talks about the story of ATUM, this whole rock opera, in individual episodes. And he also has guests on there that talk about different things, different artists. He talks about some really crazy stuff going on in our society today. He's brilliant. Take him or leave him. I mean, he is still Billy Corgan. He's still pretty egotistical, but he's got reason to be. He's 55 years old. He's getting married this year. He's got 2 kids. The band now consists of Billy, again, who plays everything, Jimmy Chamberlain, the original drummer from Smashing Pumpkins, James Iha, original guitar player from Smashing Pumpkins, and Jeff Schroeder. Unfortunately, Darcy is not currently in the band. There's been a lot of bad mouthing about that, but pretty much Billy has said she's welcome and she's in part of the family. She's welcome to the band anytime she can get herself some help, get herself straight. She has some mental issues and brought on mostly because of drug addiction. And he said she can come back anytime, but anytime they've tried to, she's always kind of wigged out and then blamed Billy and whatever. I'm not talking about that. So anyways, the record. I got it in a separate thing. It's on black vinyl, just says Smashing Pumpkins. 3 actual records. The final side of the 3rd record actually is voice actors acting the story of Act 1. Pretty cool. I want to see, and Billy's talked about maybe there's going to be a movie sometime. That's what he would like to see. That would be really interesting. But one of the things that really struck me when I was listening to this story and listening to this music, I said, wait a second, I know this. This is similar to, bear with me, Styx. Yep, Paradise Theater. So if you know about Styx did Paradise Theater. This is a concept album. A lot of people didn't realize at first, but then, on the inside of this, there's the guys up here, but then they followed Paradise Theater up with Kilroy was here, right? And this is where, if you've seen this concert, I saw it several times. If you see this concert, they do a whole show. And here, look at this. Here's a guy in the mask. So these are these guys here. It's very similar to the X and I, right? And the same thing. This guy's music, there's Tommy Shaw. He hears of this old musician, and that is Dennis DeYoung. And he goes to the old Paradise Theater where there was a riot and people got trampled and killed, and they blamed it on Dennis DeYoung's character. So they used that to condemn him and send him to prison. The prison's, of course, run by these dudes and part of the government. And it's the same story. Tell me if you don't agree with me. I just thought it was freaking cool as hell. I mean, this is what Dennis DeYoung wanted to do with Styx. Dennis DeYoung wanted to be more theatrical, tell stories with the albums, not just have, hit songs here or there, throw out an album. He was really into theater and very theatrical, and these 2 albums got him drummed out of his own band. Yeah, they kicked him out of Styx. I mean, the founding person of Styx. Anyways, we're not going to talk about Styx right now. We're talking about ATUM and Billy Corgan. Great album. I've seen some people on the vinyl community really bashing this album. They don't get it. Everyone that has said something negative about this album has said, well, it's not Siamese Dream. It's not Melancholy. Why can't they just do Melancholy? Well, that was in the 90s. We're in 2023. You know, Billy's like, I still have things to say. I'm writing new music. I'm experimenting with different styles. Somebody said, oh, I didn't like the electronic drums on the tracks in ATUM. Well, Billy Chamberlain is one of the greatest heavy alternative rock drummers in the history of alternative music, I think. And what they did was they used this technique where they did use a drum track, but then he does overdubbing, does some other drums, so you have multiple drum tracks. It's pretty cool. Billy says he got the idea from Jeff Lynne of ELO, who used to do it on some of their songs. I think it's interesting. Now, Billy will tell you, and I agree, he says about a third of this 33 songs is hard rock, almost like heavy metal, pretty heavy. A third of it is electronic, you know, and a lot of people don't like the electronic music. They want the old-fashioned Pumpkins, apparently. And then about a third of it, I call it Pumpkin strangeness. About a third of it is, you know, Pumpkins music. And it's 2 hours and 18 minutes long. So I understand. Some of these people that reviewed it, I'm sure they listened to it once and just didn't get it. I'm sitting here telling you, I got this. It came out, the whole thing came out on May 5th. They had been releasing songs before that, months before that, an act at a time. But the full 3-act set came out May 5th. I pre-ordered it. I got it in the mail May 7th, and I immediately started listening to it. I can't stop. I've listened to it completely all the way through 6 times. More probably, because every once in a while I'll just put on Spotify and listen to some songs, or of course while listening to that podcast you hear the songs again. So probably more than that. I will say the first time I listened to it, I didn't get it. A couple cool songs, whatever. Second time I listened to it, I looked it up online and I read the story as I was listening to it. Oh, okay, now I'm starting to get it. The third time, and yeah, this is a lot of invested time into an album, but the third time I read the lyrics, you know, kind of like the old days, pulled out my lyrics and read the lyrics along with it, and then it just boom. Then it was, I couldn't stop listening to it. I just kept putting it back on repeat and just listening to it, you know. I think it's amazing. I think it's a lot like a lot of his records, like when Adore came out after Melancholy, people were like, oh, they're going too electronic. Why can't they just do Melancholy again? I don't understand people that do that. If you want to go see Journey, you know, play all their greatest hits and haven't done anything of note in years and years, you know, or Foreigner or somebody like that, that's great if that's what you want to go see. You know, a classic rock act and they're playing their old hits. But Billy's like, I'm still alive. I still have things to say. I saw an interview with Roger Daltrey and they asked him, hey, are you guys the Who ever going to, you know, do a new album? And he said, no, I mean, we've said everything we need to say. What? You're still alive. Things are happening. You don't have anything to say? Your music was seminal, was great. It spoke to a generation, yes, but why can't you write new music? Why can't you put out new albums? Why can't you have more to say? I don't understand that, and neither does Billy. Even The Cure, I'm going to go see The Cure. They've got a new album coming out, and they're still touring. I can't wait. But that's what I want to see in music. I want to see people pushing the envelope and doing something new. And even if they're an old band, they can still be relevant and find something new. You have to give this record a shot. It's a rock opera. It's not just a record with singles on it. Everything means something. And Billy will tell you, all the albums do. Since Gish, Siamese Dream on through, even Zeitgeist, has relevance to the preceding album. They're all kind of a story. And that's how he writes music. And I know it's a lot of work, 2 hours and 18 minutes, and you really should listen to it at least a couple times like that in order to get it. But once you do, of course, then you can listen to it anytime. All right. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I know this is probably another one of my long-ass videos and nobody wants to watch the whole thing, but I really wanted to talk about ATUM. I think it's amazing. And as always, if you find any entertaining value in this video, please like, subscribe, write me some comments. You probably hate this record if you listen to it. That's fine. Everybody, each their own, but I don't feel that way. Anyways, until next time, peace out.